much.
We have some incredible guests for you now.
We do. Obviously, he's known for his amazing voice and, come on, his amazing acting. But actor and ex-military man Brian Blessed has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and tried to conquer Everest 3 times. He's been to the North Pole.
Now he's lending his support and voice to Army veteran James Rose, who is attempting to become the first double amputee from the military to climb Kilimanjaro unaided. Which is extreme. And James lost both his legs when he stepped on an IED and improvised explosion on patrol in Afghanistan in 2009. We're also joined by Darren Young, and it was your idea.
Yes, it
wasn't it? Yes, yes. Just explain how this all came about. And James, of course, this is extraordinary for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's really great. It all came about by I was watching something on telly with Ant Middleton, and it was called Extreme Everest. And I've always been fascinated with mountains, and especially Mount Everest. And I posted something on Facebook, stupidly enough, and Darren got hold of it, and he was like, "Yeah, let's climb Kilimanjaro next year."
Just Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, it was just like that, and I was like, "Okay, then." Joking about. Then it got a month or 2 months down the line, and he was like, "Right, I've done this, I've planned this, I've planned that," and I was like, all right, yeah, this is really happening.
Wow.
So.
Now, people in your position have done it before, but they've had a bit of wheelchair travel along the way, haven't they?
Yeah.
You're doing it right from the bottom to the top, purely on your artificial legs.
Yeah, that's
And these
right.
are special legs, aren't they? I saw you on the news, actually, last week, training in the
it's just like a little socket on the end of your leg there, and you've got a little foot. So you've got I'm basically about 4 foot when I stand up, and I was a front man with a metal detector, or vellum, as you call it in the army. I was taught to cleave a route, and as I lifted the branch up, I took one more step and I stood in a pressure plate IED. It knocked me unconscious for about 10 seconds, blew my right leg off. When all the dust settled, that's when the shock really hit me. And when the shock settled, that's when the pain hit me, and it just felt like a blowtorch on my legs. And it was.
And you knew at that stage, even before you were evacuated out, you knew you'd lost your legs.
No, I didn't know I lost my legs until I got back in the celly yoke, and I kind of lifted up in the bed and just fell from my legs, and I was like, all right, I've got no legs.
Did you have that syndrome where you could still feel them, though?
Yeah, I can still feel them now. I can still feel my feet now. I'm wiggling my toes about.
Really?
Amazing. And Darren, I mean, you also you're a former veteran. You've got the spinal injury.
Yes.
Had depression. I mean, Brian, what is your view? You've done it, but your view of these guys must be...
Well, I think it's a miraculous climb. I've done Kilimanjaro, many routes. I've done the Western Breach route and the Heim Glacier, the Kirsten Glacier. And they're some of the hardest climbs in the world. The Breach Wall has only been climbed by Reinhold Messner, so that it's almost unclimbable. But the route they're taking, with no legs like this, is astonishing. Because what is brilliant about this route, what is brilliant about Kilimanjaro is you have a tropical zone, then you have an alpine zone, and then you have an Arctic ice cap.
Yeah.
So you experience all those 3 zones. But if you can't rush it, you can get cerebral hemorrhage or pulmonary edema. And what they're attempting is miraculous.
Is it dangerous for you to be doing this?
Yes, very.
How is it dangerous?
Dangerous because they mustn't rush, because their lungs can fill up. If they rush it through...
James is taking a really deep breath right now. He's like,
their lungs can fill up with liquid, and that's pulmonary edema, or you can get cerebral hemorrhage. That's virtually kind of your brain breaking down, and you're getting blood clots in your... So as you ascend, your blood thickens, and you've got to do it gradually, and do it slowly, and not rush. Now, he's very quick, but he's going to have to go from the Marengo hut straight up, therefore, to the Harombo hut, the Mandara hut, at 12,000 feet, and then go to eventually they get towards Kibo hut, 15,200 feet, virtually the height of Mont Blanc.
You're right,
and then
James.
from there they go up Gilliman's Point, which is very steep, 90 degrees, get to the ridge, go round the ridge, and then the summit, Uhuru Peak, it's called.
Well, let's talk about the motive for doing this. I mean, it used to be said, do you remember in the days when mountaineers, when asked why they did it, they'd say, well, because it's there. I do it because it's there. What's the prime motivation for you in doing this?
It's mainly to raise awareness of mental health. and that's the main motive behind it. But also as well, I want to like see how far I can push my limits.
And what about you with your bad? Because you've got a very bad back from your time in the army. You've had a lot of
clinical
pain.
depression. You
In
mentioned
the RAF, yes.
Sorry, the RAF.
Yeah, I was a
yes,
fireman in the RAF for 16 years. So the amount of training, what you do with dummies, breathing apparatus, and everything, it's just damaged my spine. So I've got 3 vertebrae, which is thickening my spinal column.
And that gave you a lot of depression because of the constant pain.
Yeah, I was very active. I played a number of different sports, semi-professional football, tennis for the RAF, and just a lot of different sports. And when you get told that you can't do these things,
Right. Yes.
you try to look for other things what you can do. But because the chronic pain, what I'm in every day, it started playing with my mind.
So what's the motivation for you in doing this?
Getting him up there.
That's
See,
lovely.
I think the greatest danger in life, you'll say, Brian, isn't it dangerous going to Mount Everest? The greatest danger in life is not taking the adventure.
Yeah.
I think we've all got our Everests. This is miraculous what he's attempted, because he's using his arms, and therefore the blood is pumping very severely through his body. He has to go slowly, slowly, and slowly.
Great
They
advice.
and I went up there, and I went along the western breach wall, and then I went down into the Royce crater, where King Solomon is reported to have gone, and I brought that out of it. So I'll give you that
Extraordinary
little bit of
looking.
Kilimanjaro from the Royce crater, guys. Thank you. Good luck.
That's lovely. Well, good luck. It's September the 8th you start.
Yes, that's right.
Hopefully we'll follow
You'll
you
do
in
it.
great
Yeah,
success.
they'll do it.
Mind
Of course
over.
you'll do it.
They'll
Thank
do
you,
it.
all 3 of you.